Hello, and today we're here to discuss a bit the new feature that we have implemented for this new release of Botcha. We'll start from the improvement we've made, and then we'll move over to the actual new functionality we've added. First thing we want to discuss about is texture density. Here we have a couple of cubes, that have different texture density in the way they've been unwrapped. So what I can do is I can select them all and go to my UV editor and use the third button here. It will cascade a menu and go to the set texel density option. That will open a small window where I can set my texture density. Here I can say how much of the unit of measure. For example, if I want to cover 1 meter with 124 pixels, I can set it, or I can pick using this little pick. If, for example, I want to have everything covering the same as this object, I can pick it and say then it will under 50 millimeters will cover 248 pixels. When I press OK, then the texture density is uniform throughout the model, and you can see how this now everything it looks fine. Second functionality that we have improved is the stitching. I can bring back my stitching panel. And what I can do, for example, I want to add a stitch here, just as an example. I can double tap on my stitches, and here I can see that there are some new options in the style. I want to go for Chubby, which is this new style of stitches that we've added. And we have also the holes, the possibility of adding all meshes. So if I press now OK, then I have my stitches that have been created. I did not project them onto the mesh. I want to go back and double tap here. I want to project the mesh, yes. And now here we are. No. Now you can see that these stitches are a little bit like thicker in the medial position of the single stitch, and we have added also the hole mesh where it will simulate the holes. The interesting thing here to note is that the stitches and the holes are on two different meshes, so that I can assign a material that looks like a hole in the hole meshes, and then I can assign my stitching material on the stitches. So we have this two different things going on. The next feature that I want to demonstrate to you is the displacement. So we've added the capabilities of adding displacement in the modifiers. So I can here displacement. I gotta first have a texture in my textures to be able to access this capability, and here I can select my displace. And you can see that at first this is not exactly looking good. What I want to do is I want to add multi-resolution and move it up, add for example 2 subdivisions, and now it's looking a lot more like that's a little bit too much, maybe a lot more like the pattern I had. So now it's looking quite good. I can go even higher on the resolution of my multi-resolution, and this will basically determine how sharp it is. Can go to crazy height, and then of course this will make the computation of the render mesh a lot more heavier But one thing that then I can do also is I can displace and then I can emboss, so it's going in the opposite direction. And there I have basically the ability of creating textures, and then this is stored into the render mesh. And it's quite good. Now for the new features, we'll start from last grading. In version 24.0 we introduced last grading, and now we have introduced a new feature that allow you to grade a series of lasts, so a complete size ramp. If I go to my last here, I gotta make sure always that last, in order the command to work, the last need to be centered, the last center point need to be the origin, last should be y-aligned, and then yeah, it should sit right around this point. Then I select mesh, I pick my, it works with meshes, up to you, whatever. And now I have, as you can see, automatically it's detected the fitting, the ball girth, and the length of the last. Now I can here generate a grading table where I got all my lasts, I can get my sample size. I can change the style of last, so it's UK, US, however many iterations performed for grading each size. And I got minimum size, I'm gonna run from say 4 to 12. We have size, so now I have here my grading table from 4 to 12, or 8.5 is my sample size. And here I have the increments. I can change the length of the ball girth for each if I want, but I'm fine with that. So whenever I press OK, and then I have all my my size here. An interesting thing is that you see this interesting rainbow shaped thing. So I got all my sizes. I hide them all, and then I can pick one by one. So I'm gonna also push. This is 4, and 4.5, 5, 5.5, up down to 12. And each, as you can see, get a different color. This is helpful for finding them. So that's a bit like how this size brand work, which is quite handy and quite useful whenever you're dealing with you wanna quickly generate like a number of lasts for your model, then to, for example, use for them for remapping different things. Then we move forward where we have another functionality that is called bindings. So whenever I have 2 parts, for example, here I have made these 2 parts that are created, and what I would like to do is I would like to bind them together. And this panel here, I have a number of templates that are created. For example, I want to bind them with a pinch. What I can do is I can double click, select my 2 surfaces, and I say I want to bind them from here down to here, and from this point to this point. And there I have it. Basically, the connection is generated in between the two meshes. And this is disconnected. I can show you later. We can also join them. And as you can see, I mean, what happens here is that basically this looks like a kind of a pinch binding, so where you're stitching and then turning and having this nice pinch. Interesting thing is that the topology that I had in my mesh preserved. So it looks like as if it was done by hand, and it gives some nice like continuity to the surface. If, for example, I go for join to surface and do the same thing, double click on my pinch, select the two surfaces, start from here, go down here, and from here, down here. So now you can see that this now is actually part of the same mesh. It looks very natural. Of course, it's a little bit more dense to have achieved this effect, but it looks very natural. And I can also always take these and bring them into 3D. I have now everything in 3D. And I could do the same in 3D. In fact, I believe it's a little bit better if I do it in 3D, and then I can take, like, as always, take my objects and apply nice subdivision surface to achieve even better results. If I switch to, say, rendered, and put a nice material on it, just to see a little bit better, like this orange. You can see that, yeah, this lining is quite cool. Actually quite well implemented. And this allows you to easily and quickly bind basically any parts together, and it's quite an interesting feature because, yeah, it allows you to take parts and play with them. And I can go back. Before I go back to my banding panel, there's not just that, of course. There's like other kind of bandings. For example, when I'm overlapping, I can also add a stitching to this. So I'm gonna select this overlapping first and second, do exactly the same thing here. And now this is a bit what happened and has been generated. Maybe this is a bit too much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do 0.5. Repeat. That's much better. And then I can play with like the thickness and whatnot, and now the overlap will actually, if for example I put this here, add some thickness 5, this will look a heck of a lot better. And we'll have my two parts that won't overlap each other. And the last feature I want to talk to you about is the ability of exporting a bill of material for the model I created. For example, here I have a shoe that is nearly completed, and I want to export. For my materials. I have a bill of material, and so I use the report materials command. I can report, save it, and then basically we'll have this this bill of material that has been generated for me now. And it's interesting because then I have like my parts on the midsole, there's the CVA insert, then rubber on the outsole, all the parts of the outsole. A heel part is this orange microfiber cream suede, and then there's all the materials that I created. And here I have like a nice breakdown of what happened and like how each part is assigned. Of course, now the objects that are unnamed and they have direct material attached to it will be like that. If a layer has a material, you will get like with this little preview image. So it's quite a nice way of, once I have created everything in Rhino, a way to export and share with other people the work I did. This mostly covers the new version. There's a number of improvements, small changes that we did to overall streamline the workflow and make sure that everything is up to snuff. But the big changes are these, the big new parts of the workflow are these that I just show you. So thank you very much, and if you do have any questions, just reach out.